Oh, that's good. I had the microphone open the whole damn time. I forgot to turn the image show off. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, good night, good day. This is your host, Dan the Tigg Kasinger, for Coffee with the Tigg and Friends. No friends yet on Discord. Tom's not going to be here. He's got family obligations, and I'm glad he likes to show up and talk with us. But it's not an obligation, Tom. You don't have to show up every week. I'm happy that you do, though. At least you try to. It's great that you support me in so many ways. It's just great. Nobody's here yet. I haven't seen some of our friends on anything else this morning, so it might be a busy morning, and it might have been a bad day for this particular topic, which is kind of a crap because it's a good topic, I think, anyway. It's RaceRoom. RaceRoom experience, racing experience. The success or failure of it is what I'm basically going to talk about today. My limited knowledge of the game sim. But my knowledge of it, and I have to change the name of my racing team because it still says in the whole productions. I haven't gotten around to doing that yet. It should be Snoring Pug Productions, or Snoring Pug, because I've changed that name of that. In the Hole is the old me. Snoring Pug is the new me, after years. Hello! Well, I heard somebody come on. Let's see who came on. Dale Tolan, the professor. So we're talking about, we're talking about RaceRoom experience. RaceRoom racing experience today. And my limited knowledge of it, I was hoping Bill would show up because he's got a little bit better knowledge of it than I do. So, but for what it's worth, but the history that I know of RaceRoom experience is that it is originally a SimBim sim, which we all know SimBim brought us the great titles GTR. GTR2, GTL, Race 07, GTR Evolution, Race On. So it's got a good pedigree. I mean, it goes back years. The one thing that RaceRoom probably is why it's not as popular as it should be, in my opinion. I honestly, I think they did a great job with the sim. It runs nice. I've been running. I run it off and on because I've got so much going on. I don't run it as much as I should. As you can see, difficulty level is now. I still have to figure out all the fun stuff how to do this sim. But I do play it occasionally, not near enough because I don't really run it online. So that's the way it goes sometimes. Is you don't really run it online, so you don't really play it that you don't spend a lot of time with it. I've got a total of 90 laps complete, 607 kilometers, 11 hours, 47 minutes. Most of that time is setting up the configuration, unfortunately, trying to figure out how to set it up. This is their what you're looking at here is my page on their website. So that's
hello.
And that would be Mad Dog.
Hello.
Mad Dog, buddy. What's up, dude?
Outside cleaning up dog crap and, cleaning it out.
I already did that this morning. I've been up for a while.
Yeah.
But,
got about 30 minutes to go,
so. Yeah. You can't read the store here. Let's pull up the store here of the available content. There is no monthly fee for this particular sim, but there is. Well, see, for me, since I own a lot of the content, some of the content, the price of the premium pack, which includes everything in the sim, for me is $93.27. it's like $125, and I think there's a way of getting discounts. I've never figured that out, but if you actually look at it in the long run, if you are a road racer, there's no ovals in this sim whatsoever. Not a single solitary one. There's no oval cars. There's no oval. There isn't. There isn't a single solitary anything to do with oval. This is strictly road racing. This is, the evolution from GTR2 and Race 07 onwards. Well, for me, all content for right now in one single price is 120 cars left to load. But well, this is actually the price now. It's 120 cars, 120 cars plus 35 tracks, and that's kind of where the downfall is. And I've not really 41 tracks, 91 layouts of those tracks, 152 cars, 1,330 liveries. From what I've not tried to look for, or not even attempted to do a custom livery in this sim, so I don't know if it's all possible.
I'm not sure you even can.
I don't think.
I thought I looked into it at one point, and I don't think you can. I think what comes with the sim is what you get.
Yeah, so it's
what you get.
So it's basically, it's a racing. It's all. That's why they don't. That's what I was thinking. Since they don't have a showroom like every other sim does, you just go right into it. It's all about the racing, and that might be another part of its failure. That's, when you sit there and you think about it, what it is. There are some great cars in here, and I don't have them all, unfortunately. I only have the ones in the gray. Well, I don't. I should actually go into.
Yeah, I heard that they're like touring cars and they're like Group C and like MC stuff.
They're
really good.
There's some.
Yeah, Group C and Group 5 stuff is really great.
Yeah.
And even GTP to an extent. Yeah.
I said.
And of course, they have plenty of touring cars, both British and German.
Yeah, the only thing I bought was the Indy car. That's all I wanted was the Indy car. So. I got a couple tracks off of.
And that's where it is. It's and of course there's the tracks. Why does that keep popping up? Why does that keep?
Do they even still update the game? Or
Yeah.
I think within the last month or two they released a new track.
Yeah, they're very slow. Well, not slow, but very meticulous about what they do. Let me get this off the screen here real quick. We're pulling up RaceRoom. It may take a minute since I'm streaming, because it's all basically geared to online racing. Though the AI I run offline with the AI, and the AI behavior is fantastic. Even against each other, last night I was trying to do some stuff with a prototype car that they do have in there, and I think it was the Audi one, and the AI was faster than me. Well, yeah. So they were, instead of knocking me out of the way, they were kind of going around me. And I was at Road America, which is one of the tracks I do own. And that sweeping right-hander, I can't think of what it's called there. I don't think it's called the carousel, but that's kind of what it is. The guy went off track and went into the sand, and it slowed him down, and it did what would happen in real life, which was really, really cool. Let's go to the store here, and what I particularly own here. Okay, so it pulls up the same thing. Back to game.
If I get a little too loud, let me know, and I'll mute myself.
Oh, you're fine. You're fine.
Because I'm kind of like, filling up their water bowl, hosing out the dogs.
Oh yeah, that's what happens. I appreciate you coming. I did do some running last night. Also, this is my favorite car in the sim, and I don't even know what it is. It's the Cougar C12 or C14-2. I like driving it. It's got enough grip, but it's also slippery. It doesn't, it's not glued to the track like so many cars are. Get Black Flag. I have no idea where to set up the difficulty on this thing is, actually, to be honest with you. I don't, like I said, I don't play this a lot, and I think it is yeah, traction control on, stability control off, counter steer assist off. I don't know why they're calling me novice. I got all this stuff off. The only thing I have on is traction control, which would be in most of these cars anyway. It doesn't even say anything. Brake assist, it says factory ABS. I just use the flipper paddles because, you know, whatever. I just prefer using that for racing than anything else.
The Cougar is a fixed-switch version of the BMW 1 Series.
I mean, there you go. He's looking that up. He's looking that up while we're talking. That's good. I did do a little short thing here. I don't know if the replay. I did try it online. Oh, here's that one. Here's the replay of what I did last night.
And as you were talking a bit about content, how it is a bit slow to come out with new content.
Right.
I feel like that's one of the big reasons it didn't take off, was it sort of suffered from an rFactor 2 syndrome, where the sim itself was great, but it lacked the content variety to keep people coming back, and that's sort of what got it off to a bit of a slow start.
The big difference, well, first of all, this is out long before rFactor 2 came out. This is actually, but the rFactor 2 has an advantage over it, and it allows modding by the community.
Yeah, modding.
But this is like iRacing, where it's strictly all their stuff, except, well, more so that you can't paint your own cars. That's the thing there. And probably those two things, and more the painting your own cars or your own liveries, is the biggest drawback of the sim. I think it runs great. I love this sim. Every time I get on it, I'm like, why don't I run this more? And it's because of all of that.
I'll say another thing is no damn night cycle. That's another kind of.
And that's something they've had in previous SimBim sims.
I think G2 had both day and night, I think, and rain.
Yeah, it did.
So
I have no idea how loud this is because I've not adjusted the volumes on this thing, so. Trying to find one that went out. Here we go. Here's one that went out. Let's go, camera. But it's a beautiful sim, too, if you look at it.
Yeah, I agree.
It is a beautiful sim. Look at that. There's fading and blurring, and this is not me. You don't want to watch me drive. Because I'm not used to this sim at all. And what I'm thinking is, you look at a lot of these tracks and the same tracks that are in other sims, it almost looks like they've taken the tracks from here and put them in other sims. But, you know, they all seem to look the same, so if they got the distances right, it's all good as far as I'm concerned.
Yeah, exactly. Because that's one thing on sim racing is, technically, ideal world, every sim tracks would be the same, because that means you pretty much hit the accuracy perfect. Ideally, you want all of the tracks to be as close to each other as possible.
Right. And although
that's closer to accurate.
Yeah, I think RaceRoom is, like I said, it's a good sim. It really is. I just played it, watched everything. To be honest, I just run it and be happy with it. And I love that we have the game show. You can click on change and race. It's working fun. And it's free.
yeah, well, the base free content, you get like, I think 6 tracks, a few cars. It's actually not bad, but if you just pick and choose what you want to buy, like I have the American Track Pack and a few cars, I think this is actually one that comes free. And it's a nice driving car. It reminds me of the old Daytona prototypes.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's immediately what I was thinking, looking at the front. On the front, it does remind me of the Corvette Daytona prototype.
Right, there goes me going too fast into that corner. That's me driving. But you notice that AI avoided me. It saw what I did and it avoided me. We're in rFactor, and this is the first time I loaded it up, so they already have the sense of presence of what's going on. Unlike rFactor, I would have hit him. rFactor 2, Assetto Corsa, they all would have done that same thing. I would have bounced off of him, where he slid over. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, the AI behavior, if you're looking for good road racing AI behavior, I honestly think this is the sim you want to get. Honestly. I've not raced it online, so I don't know how it is online. I mean, I've got on empty servers, but I've not been on, not gotten on with other people. I love the AI behavior, and it reminds me of GTR and Race 07. They all did the same thing.
Yeah. Is it possible to multi-class race?
Actually, yes, you can.
Yeah.
That's another thing I saw was that, like, a year ago or so, they introduced a multi-class option. So yes, you can run multi-class.
I love the fact that even though you're a hardcore NASCAR fan and NASCAR sim fan, you keep up with all of the sims. I love that you do that.
The options open, you know. Even though I am a NASCAR diehard at heart, that doesn't mean I'm NASCAR only, you know.
Right.
I'm willing to look into everything else and give them a shot and educate myself about other series.
I'm the same way. Was a real hardcore NASCAR fan. Now, I do follow the whole series, car, ISMA, and I think that's only really the only thing that's the main two I follow. But I just love.
Also Formula One, and also I probably would watch more Formula One if the races weren't like that early in the morning.
Well, the thing that kills me for Formula One is if you qualify in the top 10, you're going to finish in the top 10 unless there's a problem with the car.
Yeah.
I think this is. Yeah, it's. Everybody says NASCAR is boring. I think F1 is the most boring racing there is. The overtaking. That's what I love about Max Verstappen, because he does.
I agree. I was around when Vettel won his 3 championships plus that 4th one. I was around when he did it, and it wasn't that boring. It was actually pretty amazing because even though he would be 13 seconds up the road, they always had something would go wrong somewhere in the pack. But now it's like with Mercedes dominating, it's not the same. I mean, it's just.
It's terrible.
Yeah, even in the 2012 season, you had 7 different winners in the first 7 races, and that was a pretty competitive year if you have 7 different winners in the first 7 races.
Well, that's definitely, yeah, right, and that's what's happened with F1 is it's all geared right now. If honestly, my opinion is it's all geared towards Mercedes-Benz, and that's it. It's everything's to make Mercedes-Benz better. I don't understand it. I mean, it's crap. I think Verstappen should have had a championship by now, by the way he drives. But every time he does something, pushes the envelope on it, they throw a freaking penalty at him. After the race, they throw a freaking penalty at him. It's ridiculous. You can see the frustration in the guy's face. But anyway, we digress like always.
I don't know, but one last thing. I find it funny how you said to help Mercedes. If anything, wouldn't they just... I think they would be geared more towards helping out Ferrari, since Ferrari pretty much has so much power. They literally have a veto. They literally have the ability to veto anything they desire, so...
Yeah.
I think that they put a lot of effort into, making sure Ferrari's happy.
But there is a thing coming not next year in 2021. They're doing budget caps. So that's pretty interesting to see how this plays out.
There's a lot of videos on YouTube about the failure of Williams and Force India and all those other teams.
Yeah.
It's there. If you take the time to watch some of that stuff, it's pretty cool.
Yeah, but you get back to RaceRoom. Yeah, like the RaceRoom is a good sim. Make it all get arcade. It just depends on how you look at it.
Yeah.
It's fun. It's fun.
I enjoyed what I was doing last night, and I turned that off real quick so I can lower the volume here, because it was pretty freaking loud actually, and I had the master volume at 18, so I'm gonna turn it down to 10 here and see if that does the trick. Because it was loud in my ear, so I'm pretty sure it's loud for the viewers.
Yeah, if you have to turn me down, go ahead.
No, not you. I'm talking about RaceRoom. RaceRoom was loud. As you can see from my replays, most of it is that little car that I've driven. This thing, the Formula Ford is a lot of fun too. Here, well, I don't even know how long that is. I don't remember how long I did that one for.
I did IndyCar at Sonoma on the not the Cup layout, but the IndyCar layout.
Yeah.
When I was like, ooh, this is actually pretty cool.
Mm-hmm. And I think you actually feel the bumps in the track. I don't know why I can't get a set of Corsa set up like this, but when I'm driving this, I can feel the bumps in the. Maybe that's why I'm not so good at a set of Corsa as I am in rFactor 2 and rFactor 1.
AC, I'm gonna take this quote from somebody. Their physics is not real. It's just some made up stuff they just thrown together, and they just end up getting whatever the heck they're using. It's not real.
I think that's the big thing about a set of Corsa. What we've been driving on Tuesday nights and Saturday mornings to this week is that they don't have the grip. I think they're that particular whatever physics model is being used on those Trans Am cars that we're running and these bugs are closer to realistic. But once you get to the GT cars and the Indy cars or open wheel cars, whatever other cars are in here, the grip is again like you're glued to the track. You can't, unless you overdrive a corner really, really bad, you're not going to spin out. I've even the guys who made the WTCC mod for a set of Corsos did the same thing. It feels like the car should, but most of the 90% of the cars are in the set of Corsa glued to the track.
Yeah, and like and I mean I get what he's saying. Like the physics and AC, they could have done a lot better because how the car reacts is just not. It's not real. It's like you got a lot of invisible, feedback and everything. It's
right.
Strange.
Yeah, the force feedback on it is. I'm still playing with that, and I still don't have it right. In this particular, what the hell happened there? I must have restarted the session.
But the force feedback is. It's a weird game for sure. Really weird.
Yeah, and its popularity blows my mind, to be honest with you. That wasn't very long. Yeah. I was probably playing with something.
I'd say, would it be worth the money to buy it?
A set of Corsa? Right now, yeah, it is, because you can catch it. Like the last time it came up, waiting for server response. Okay. The way it's set, the last sale, I think it was, if you wanted all the DLC, I don't think it was much over $30, which the original game sold for like $40 or $50. So if you go to Steam and put it on your wish list, they'll tell you when it's on sale, and it's, I think the base game was $5 the last time it was on sale. I mean, you can't really go wrong. The base content is pretty cool, but then you get all the extra DLCs in there, and there's a ton of cars in the base game, even with the DLCs. And then you got to add in the modding community, and there's a huge huge there's a huge above ground modding group, and there's a even larger underground that just takes cars from other sims and throws them in. There's a huge, if you're into that kind of thing.
And also, don't forget that some of them do charge money just to get like the Indy car.
Mm-hmm.
And I think for the one, you have to pay money just to get to them. And I don't. That turns me off.
Yeah. If you're gonna do a paid mod, you better have the best freaking mod in the world out there. And I've seen some of those in.
RaceRoom Studios guys probably do it right or whatever, because their mods are pretty high quality.
Right.
All things considered, you know.
Yeah.
Mostly well-known paid modders, generally their stuff is worth it, but once you go to some like shadier people, you're probably not going to get what you bargained for.
Right, and a lot of the paid modders, there's a few I would do. I'm not going to mention names or anything, but if they've been around for 20 years, you know, they started out in Race 07 or even earlier than that, you know, then you know they've been around for a while. You know, they did the GTRs, the GTL, NASCAR racing. There's a few names out that have been around that long. That's not me, by the way, you're watching. That was an AI car just getting wiggly loose going into that corner. So that's the cool thing about that.
Yeah. Because like when I wanted to do IndyCar and AC, when I wanted to do IndyCar and AC, I literally had to find somebody else that had mod and get it off instead of going directly to that website to get it, because it's like I can't justify paying for a mod. That just can't.
Right.
Yeah, they do work hard for everything. I do appreciate it, but sometimes it's not worth paying for something like IndyCar. If I want to go do IndyCar, I can just go to RaceRoom or go iRacing and do IndyCar.
Right. And that's the thing. The same thing with rFactor too. There's a few play mods. I think they may be the same people and they're different names. The pay mods for rFactor. I understand all the work that goes into it. I understand it's time consuming. I understand the programs cost money. But when you spend, if you could actually see the progress of what their work is, here's my new track. It's it's 10 euros or whatever. It's usually what it is euros. I've never heard of the name. There's no progress. You know, hey, I laid it out this day. Here's how it looked the first day. You know, I would love to see these makers do a progression video. I mean, a 10-minute progress video. Here's how it looked at the beginning. Here's how it looked, you know, when I got the version 0.20, version 3.0, whatever. You know, just put something out to show us that the progress you made from scratch to what you released. I know. There are, if you actually look on RaceRoom's site, there are stuff like that on. I don't look but they do a progress video. They have a YouTube channel, which, by the way, there'll be an explanation video coming up shortly for my channel on why I'm cutting back my. I'm going to do a self-explanatory. This is way off base what we're talking about. Why I'm cutting down my YouTube presence. But it's just interesting to when you sit here and you look at this. This is downright beautiful. That's not even me. I don't even remember. Here, let's go to my car. Here I am. I'm in the Braun 40. I did some fun stuff with this guy. And then I overdrive a corner, and he comes back by. Oh no, that's not. Yep, say I overdrove the corner. And the damage, the parts pop off. See? Look at that. The hood is dented up. Something that is sorely missing in rFactor 2 and Assetto Corsa. rFactor does a little bit, depending on what the mod maker does, but rFactor 2, there's no damage, visual damage model. Assetto Corsa has 0 damage until you practically destroy the car, and then just the wheels go cockeyed. Here it is. I ran into the wall and knocked my front bumper off, and dented my hood from hitting the wall. And here's me.
But that AC isn't worth it. Yeah, it's on sale. But other than that, if you're thinking you want to play with a controller with an AC, it's not necessary. I'm gonna say this. It's a pain in the butt to get a controller working in AC.
Where in RaceRoom, you have everything. It works with everything. They got it set up for everything. For a controller, for keyboard, just like the old days. I think this is a harken back to their SimBim days, because Sector 3 used to be SimBim. There's me waiting. I'm actually doing the repair work. You'll see the they don't show the repair work. They don't show the crew coming out and doing it, but
banging, jumping on the back.
Yeah, and you'll see the front bumper pop on here real soon. There you go, see? And they straighten out the hood, and there I go. I pull out.
But yeah, RaceRoom, if I had to choose between iRace and RaceRoom, I think I would probably support. Well, actually, I think I would say this. RaceRoom is good for offline play and some of the tracks and cars. iRace is good enough for online if I ever in the mood, but I had racing like 2 months now, so
Yeah. I need to turn this stuff down really bad. It's really freaking loud. I didn't realize how loud, because I've not streamed this at all, so I don't know how loud it will. I'm gonna go 50.
And about the lack of compatibility with older stuff, like some things, like damage model, and how that's often lacking. I was watching a Billy Strange video, was GTR2 videos, and he says eventually there'll be a point where we know so much about physics and how to accurately portray them in video in a digital setting that eventually the difference between iRacing and a Assetto Corsa and a RaceRoom or rFactor car will be non-existent because there's the accurate, and then it'll be AI, and then it'll be pretty much AI, career mode, bells and whistles, graphics, day and night, other stuff, eye candy. And the fact that so many people focus on the physics and online these days, it's what negates the offline experience.
Right. That's the one big advantage I think RaceRoom has over iRacing. Well, the biggest advantage they have over iRacing is the offline. I mean, everything I've been showing you has been offline. But you sit there, like I said, I've not raced this at all online because I've yet to find any servers with people on it. That's the main reason why. And they have a huge server. As soon as I finished turning all this crap down, I had no idea it was this loud.
I agree. If you're looking at RaceRoom and thinking you might be able to do online, don't bother.
Unless you have a league, it's just kind of like NR2K got in the end. If you have a league, then you're going to have people on it. But if you don't have a league, then you're pretty much SOL. Well, here's actually servers with people on it. I was on pretty late last night, so. But here's one with 24 or 25 players, and I bet you that's a league.
Yeah, you can always check forums and everything to see if anybody's doing a get together. Because there's a lot of times people do that. They'll schedule a date to race, and it's a non-league, so you can always, but you have to really look really hard to find it. And it's not easy.
And the big difference between this and Assetto Corsa when it comes to online racing, with the open public servers, you have all the content. If you've got the cars, if you got the tracks, it shows up in the list. If you don't, it doesn't, including the tracks you own. That's the big thing right there. And I'm not going to jump on because I don't think I have the. No, it actually this one has GTR 3 cars, and I don't have any GTR 3 cars. This one has the hill clone. I hate that. Well, I don't hate it, but I'm not a big fan of their fantasy circuit, the RaceRoom Raceway. I'm not a big fan of it.
Hey, is that the
I don't have.
test one where you can go test cars on?
That's one of the free tracks. Yes. The RaceRoom Raceway.
I like
And I'll have the tennis Ford.
I like that track, the one where you test cars on. I thought that track was pretty cool.
They give you that one and Stowe. It's been a while since I've had the free content, so I don't remember.
Me either.
It's been a long time.
I go by this motto. Just if you just want to do tracks you like, go ahead and buy them. I mean, ain't nothing with it. Think in terms of how much each.
Well, here.
About what?
Here's. You buy the track pack, it's actually cheaper. But here's my car selection list. These are the cars above this line, of course, are the cars I own. And these are the ones I don't own. And actually, if you click on some of these, like which one was it? I was in here last night. The prototype 1s and 2s. They give you this one and this one and this one you have to buy. These two are all part of the free download. So you had a couple of prototypes. Prototype 2. You got 2 of the 5. Of course, the one I would want to drive would be the Daytona prototype, and of course, that's not the one they give you free. But then again, the CR Cup 1 is very similar in styling, so that's the one I showed earlier. You get, I think, the M1 Cup, because I wouldn't have bought this. So this is when you get free the BMW M1. You get the Silhouette Cup, which is these cars, and these that's what I was just showing. These are actually quite fun to drive. They're touring cars, yes. They go about 150 miles an hour, but if you look at it, the big difference between this and what we're driving in a set of course, which top speeds around 150 miles. This just has, they're a little bit more easier to control. They don't snap loose and you're skidding all over the place. You get one of the hill climbs free. I'm not a hill climber, so it's not a big deal. GTR 1, you get the Celine free, and the rest of them you have to buy. Track packs. I think this came with one of the track packs that I don't remember. The DTM 92. There's a lot of cool little cars from 92 in there. The Ford Mustang, of course, which would probably be the car I would drive, even though I'm not a Mustang fan. It's the only American car in there. GTO Classics. You got Audi, Ford Mustang again, and the Nissan, which I would drive the Nissan actually in that one, because I like the Nissan.
Yeah, this time you feel more, but I guess those are actually bought, because I know they have a solid selection of them.
Right, and the Group 5 is also was bought because of the Chevy Monza. That's my car. I love that car.
Yeah, that's a pretty nice lineup.
I mean, it's
I like that lineup.
if I was to buy anything else, I would buy some of this, probably the last couple of years at a WTCR or WTCC, because I actually enjoy watching that when I can find races. That's my kind of racing. It's beating and banging. That's pretty well equal racing. The Tatus F4, which we ran in rFactor 2, is in here, so I'm thinking that's where the car came from. I almost think at one point or another I may buy the GTR 3 pack just because, everything's GTR or GT3. They call it GTR 3. It's because that's kind of what this is. I really hate to tell you guys this is actually, and if you look at the evolution of the sim and the company, the original name of the company, which was SimBim, this would be GTR 4 actually, because if you include Evo in that. If you don't include Evo in it, then it is GTR 3, because they have all these GT3 cars. Because everybody else calls it that. But here's what he bought. He bought the Formula RaceRoom US, which would be the Indy car. and you get a nice choice of cars.
It's sort of funny when part of it went to Sector 3, and the other part actually went to slightly mad studios, if you really think of it. And then what's now Simman, the current Simman that's making GTR 3, not many of the people on there are actually from GTR 2, because they either went to Sector 3 Studios or Slightly Mad Studios.
I think Bill just joined us.
Hello.
The track that I want is Daytona.
Is this on? I like a venti hot mocha with whipped cream and chocolate.
That's not coffee.
There's coffee in it.
Yeah, but a bunch of other junk.
I might add a little bit of rat food.
There's coffee in it. Hey, Ian.
Hello.
Hey, Ian. Hey, dog. What's up?
Hey, I might add a little rat food in your coffee.
Oh no.
No.
Well, that'd probably make it taste better. That'd make it taste better.
And it's empty. I'm out of the Tigg's out of coffee.
See that? See that? He has the coffee, but he just teases us with it.
Here it is. Come get it. It's in a Tigg cup and everything. Tigg mug. Here's where I think the biggest downfall of RaceRoom is tracks.
I think it's the name.
RaceRoom?
RaceRoom Racing Experience.
Really?
That's the name. That's the name of the game.
Right.
3RE. I think that's the problem.
So you think if they actually changed the name, they would get more usage?
I'm thinking if they change the name to GTR 3, it would be better.
Or 4, whichever. Or just call it, Yeah, you're not wrong. You're probably 100% right on that. Because when GTR 2 came out, you only had to select cars and select amount of tracks, but it was moddable. That was a big help. This, as we had said earlier, is not moddable at all, and Ian investigated that you cannot add custom liveries.
No, it's all straight up.
So it's all about the racing.
Yeah.
Which
they're avoiding licensing issues. That's all they're doing.
Yeah.
That's all it is.
Yeah, which is actually kind of smart.
Yeah. Well, that's kind of Pete Carr's approach to it was.
Mm-hmm.
Is that we don't have licenses for that. I just realized the other day that the roof is a real car.
Yeah.
It's a knockoff Porsche, and I thought it was just something that the Sims were doing.
No.
So that they could put Porsches in the game. I didn't realize it was a real car. I can't believe there's a real knockoff Porsche. It's like, how can you do that?
They did it. That's all I know. I did notice this was I was in here last night looking at the tracks. They have some of your favorite tracks in here, Bill, and I'm glad you're here, just so I can tease you about it. Nutstorp, Mantorp.
Falkenberg.
All your favorite tracks.
Holmet, Mantorp. They got all them freaking Swedish tracks. 1, 2, 3, 4. I see 4 on your page there.
Yeah, this is all the tracks that are available.
These are all the ones we ran. These are all the ones we ran.
And I almost guarantee you these would be better than what we were. That series we ran in rFactor 1 with the WTC cars, that was completely unreal. Too much grip.
You see, those are VTCC cars.
Yeah. Virtual.
And it is the tracks. The tracks are hit. This leads to the ABBA banning.
Yeah.
Swedish tracks, ABBA, it all goes in the garbage can.
I just wonder if instead of spending money personally, I'm talking about myself here, instead of dropping it on EST2 and just drop some of it on here and get these Swedish tracks to see how bad they are, or actually how good they may be in here, because I'm really thinking when they converted wherever they converted those tracks from, probably from here, because this has been around for.
Aren't these all laser tracks? I thought these were
all laser tracks. I thought they were too. That's why it takes them so long to get something out. But
I think they are.
I think these these versions of these tracks would be 100% better over what we ran in rFactor 1. That's what I'm thinking. But even the bass content, and if you just go out and buy the American tracks, which you did buy for me, Bill, and I always appreciate that. I never mention where I got stuff until the person comes on that gave it to me stuff. But all the stuff I have in RaceRoom came from Bill. So again, everybody thank Bill for making my life easier. The only person who does.
Yeah.
Seriously. The free tracks, I think you get. Well, none of these European tracks were bought. I don't think. I think you just bought the American track pack. So all these European tracks come with it. I don't. Yeah, but
I don't know. Is there? There's not a Donington or anything.
No, there's no Don. That's the one.
There's
Silverstone.
That would be worth buying.
Yeah, Silverstone and Brands.
There is Brands. Okay.
Brands up there. They just have the one layout though. Probably the
I wonder
GP.
if they have them in packs.
Well, there's only one way to find out.
I wonder if they have them in packs because although there's only two, I don't think they would be.
I think they do it a whole year. Oh shit! Nope, wrong. No. Let's just pull up the story this way.
I think what they could do to be more successful is they could provide a little bit more free content when you buy it, get into it. Mm-hmm. Something that's more mainstream instead of these kind of, because aren't a couple of the tracks they have fictionals?
Those are free.
The original, yeah, that's what I'm talking about. But people don't want to imagine. Immersion gets lost real fast when you're not in a track that's real. That you can't imagine yourself being, whoever.
Right.
I think that's a problem. But I don't know. It's tough to say. It's honestly, I think a lot of this is perspective. I mean, I don't know what is there any place on there where you can find their usership?
Well, we were just on the online a minute ago, right before you popped in, but I don't know if there's anything that says how many users there are. To be honest with you,
I'm looking for facts on it. Homepage.
Well, the European tracks would be where it is. It is $14.95, and you get 19 tracks and 35 layouts. So that's Brands Hatch is in there, and I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 of those, 6 of those, 7 of those. I don't even know where those came from, unless they came with the G Group 5 that you bought me.
They have WTCC, not BTCC, right?
Right. They have World. Yeah, they have the World, and the WTCR, which it became 2-3 years ago. They when they changed the name.
I'm just wondering if there's some place where it shows. Oh yeah, when I was in the car, I saw that you were looking at the server.
Right.
I wonder if it showed. There were several of those with a lot of folks in them.
Right, and there's a lot of that. Some of that content, the cars I did not own. That was. Here I am back on it, but I got clicked on. Let's show only. Let's show everything.
4D real world tracks. Real drivers.
All right, these are the tracks I don't understand what the purple is, but this. Let's do it by this. This one has 17 of 30. This one's got 16, 14, 7, and it goes down from there. And that's to show the empty ones. And then there's a whole ton of empty ones. These must be password protected, these purple ones. But this is the middle of a Sunday afternoon, almost. Well, Most of these guys are probably European, so it's the middle of the night.
It's Sunday evening.
Yeah, it's Sunday evening, so they would be racing this time of night. This one's got 17 to 30. This one's got 16 to 25. That's what happened to that one with the Volkswagen picture. That one just that had almost a full.
Yeah, that was like 24 out of 25 or something.
Yeah. Their picture's not there anymore, so they must either close the server or went password. Nope, didn't go password.
I found an article on Steam called "Training the Adaptive AI."
The AI last night when I was playing it, and yesterday off and on. They were going off road. They were beating and banging. They were doing some fun stuff.
Well, the AI,
and they also voiced Dan when he merged back on the track. Like, in other words, they didn't get him as he rejoined. They actually moved over and avoided him.
Well,
just running him as
we had rejoining accidents yesterday at Zoom, so
yeah, we had that was the bugs are fun, but I hope we don't do them again for a while.
It's gonna be a while.
Yeah,
I'm putting a gap in them, so
yeah,
a little bit of bugs goes a long way.
Oh yeah, a long way.
Although with every game, everything, I had a great setup in my car and it was good. You know, I could drive the heck out of it. So, except for when I just wasn't hitting my marks.
One thing I do like about RaceRoom is it doesn't have much or the greatest variety content, but what it does have is pretty cool. I like the GTO, I like the Group 5, I like the Group C.
Oh, they got some. They got some unique stuff.
Cars. Yeah, that's something I wish were in more Sims, honestly.
Well, Dan and I, did we do the
80s sports?
We did the silhouettes. Did we do the silhouettes together?
Yeah, but remember it kept going out on me because I was on satellite at the time. We haven't done anything since then.
Yeah, because we were trying to do the Group 5s, and we couldn't get them because we were in the Monzas at Mid-Ohio.
Yeah.
I was going to say Monzas at Monza.
Monza at Mid-Ohio. That was a blast.
Yeah, it was.
The sound of that car was just incredible. But yeah, Dan at that time couldn't handle it, so his system couldn't handle it.
No, the internet couldn't handle it. That was the issue. The internet could not handle it.
Yeah, that was.
And that was not even streaming. Now I can do both because thank God for DSL. Even though it's costing me more than I can afford, I'm not giving it up. I like it too much.
I'm just looking at the car packs. GTR 3.
That's GT3, and they put the R. That's I don't know.
That's a typo. That's a typo.
No, it's G.
That's a homage to the GTR series that they did beforehand. You have to remember, this was a Simbin game.
Yeah.
Originally.
Oh yeah.
So GTR 1, GTR 2, so it made sense. Just name the GT3 class GTR 3.
Oh, the GTR 2. See, here's when I was watching it, playing with the lights. You have no control over the lights, so I was watching the AI and they were flashing the lights at each other. I couldn't find the control to do that for myself, so.
Oh, that's cool. That's one of the silhouettes, right?
Yeah, that's the silhouette. Hey, I finally got the volume why it's not freaking out blasting my ears out, so it's probably not blasting anybody else's ears out.
No.
You don't.
You're kind of loud.
Yeah.
You're kind of loud.
I'm always loud. You know that.
But I can fix that. There, fix it.
Yeah, on here, I'm still. My red headset bit the big one yesterday during the race, so I'm on my others.
That's not even a year old.
I know. They bit it last night. They bit it during that. So I'm on the old.
$19 at Walmart. Thank you.
Yeah. These aren't those.
You can run over them with your chair and then get a new one and you don't feel bad.
These are the old HPs that I was using before, and I still messing with the volume controls and stuff like that.
They sound fine.
Yeah.
They sound fine.
USB plug-in. I'm not buying another headset that's not USB plug-in.
What track is that you're on there?
Zolder.
Zelda.
Whatever, something like that.
It almost looks like you painted that car.
No, I know.
That number looks like your number.
I know.
Burn. Yeah, that's you. That's you.
Yeah, well, it's the 40.
Why the heck are you off the track there?
Because I overdrove the.
You were doing something.
I overdrove the chicane there.
You were distracted driving, sir.
Probably getting yelled at from the other room like normal.
Somebody's waving a checker flag over there. It looks like you won.
Yeah, I know.
And there's a bunch of them.
Yeah, that's in the crowd. I think it's cool.
It's funny. They're waving flags. The whole flagpole's moving.
I mentioned, see, it says Sector 3 up there, or it used to say Simbim, so I'm just really itching to do more of this. I don't know how I'm probably going to do a lot of offline stuff with this. I like the force feedback feel on this better than a set, of course. I hate to say that. But I like, unless I'm still need to adjust on the set, of course, the force feedback, but this car here, it does break loose if you overdrive the corner, like it's supposed to do.
No one does that.
No one ever does it.
No one ever. The other thing I think that painting skins is a big deal to people.
Yeah.
I think it's a lot bigger deal than most of these sim makers. Oh, look at the damage too.
Yeah, it's got damage.
Yeah, I agree on skin making up, to like fill out grids, especially some of the fictional cars. Like they're.
Well, the silhouettes.
Yeah.
Or even like the Indy cars, or stuff which I don't think they have official livery, so I feel like they'd be more popular if you could actually, paint.
They're just trying. I know that's just that number 9 car is awesome. That yellow and black one.
Yeah.
Ooh.
There's.
I've seen these Sims.
I have all the silhouette cars out on the track right now. All 4 classes.
There's 4 classes?
Yeah, there's 4 classes. There's 4 classes. I have all 4 of them out here right now. That's what I did.
4 cars, you mean?
No.
There's 2 classes.
Well, there's 6 cars.
2 classes?
No, there's 4.
I thought there was only 2 classes. That's a cool looking car there.
Mm-hmm. I was watching it yesterday when I was doing this. I was watching the AI. They were battling pretty hard. They weren't rolling over for each other. They were side by side, dive bombing corners and then backing off. And
does the online? I don't remember. Does it allow AI cars?
I don't know. I honestly don't know.
Let me look it up.
Look it up. I'm looking. The problem is all the articles I'm finding are ancient.
Well, that's the thing.
I'm on Sector 3's webpage. I think that's. You know what? I should go on Race Department and look at information because that's. In fact, it's funny. They're the Sector 3 page. Looks like it's the same.
Tell me later, okay?
Dan.
What's that? I'm sorry.
Where track are you at on the screen?
Solder. It's actually a fun track. I thought it was kind of fun. Other than the one sharp chicane, I thought it was a fun track.
Yeah, I seen somebody do a 24-hour race on it, and I thought it was pretty dang cool. It's like a pretty cool little track.
Yeah.
I ended up buying it on iRacing. Yeah, sold it, it's cut off of them. I'm getting both off. cool little track though.
Yeah, it's. I had fun a little bit. There's a Castrol Edge car that's red.
Yeah. That's bizarre.
Yeah. Or just says Edge on it. It might not be Castrol.
Is this one you're looking at right now, the red and black one?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, because in the RCD8s they had a red one and a green one back in the back in 2010, 11. How the years have flown. When did this come out? 2015?
No. RaceRoom's been around since at least 2013.
Yeah, it's been around.
Because I think that's the first WTCC pack that they have is 13. Or it's maybe earlier than that. I can't remember off the top of my head. Oh, that's me.
Yeah. The thing is, like you say, though, you can get on and try the dang thing.
Mm-hmm.
It may not be the content you want to try, but
at least
see, with the silhouettes were free, right? That was
yeah.
free.
Yeah, that's a free. It's a free.
Those were a blast.
They are a blast. I love them.
And also, you can test drive any car you want to.
That's right.
And you can do it as many times as you want to on the free track. So it's pretty cool that you can do that.
Yeah.
That's why I ended up getting any car because I tested it while I bought it. I thought it was pretty cool.
Yeah, I really think that is another thing that more sim with purchasable content should do, is give you an option to test the cars beforehand and before you buy them, just so you know you're not wasting money on something you'll never drive because they drive poorly.
Well, you can't drive them.
Yeah. Most likely in my case.
In my case, too. There's a lot of cars out there I just cannot drive. Formula One cars I can't drive.
Yeah, the Formula One cars are so quick and so snappy in terms of response that you really have to be incredibly precise with them. Else, whoop, you're gone.
Yep, that's it. I'm not precise.
Yeah, can you imagine trying to drive it on the freeway?
I'm trying to find what I was watching yesterday. Oh, there they are. There they are. The two guys that are racing each other. And they're two different.
The one in the back almost looks like an Audi TT.
Yeah, they are. There's some that are based like BMWs, and there's another. The Cougar's based off like a BMW 1 series.
Yeah, it looks like a 1.
So,
I like that. It's the car I choose. I like that car. The Cougar. Well, that and there is a Castrol paint job in there.
Yeah.
or it's green and white. I don't remember.
It's a Castrol. It's a Castrol. It is a Castrol, because remember I did a video or something, and you threw a fit about it.
Yeah, that's right.
Because I was in your car.
Post. Yeah. And then Dave did that video with that truck thing, and he used that. I knew he would too, because I saw that. I thought, oh, he's gonna come back with that.
That thing is ugly. That thing is uglier than ugly.
Yeah.
So you're just flashing his lights at the car, or you'll see it here in a second.
Yeah, that's him right there.
Yeah. That's cool.
That Deutsche Post car is really cool. That's a pretty paint job. I've always liked red, black and yellow paint jobs. I think they look sharp. So I must,
I'm black and yellow. I think of Jordan.
Jordan
F1.
Oh, okay.
Oh, the old, yeah.
Yeah, the Jordan F1.
Oh, I am out of coffee. That's sad.
And actually, I think Jordan F1 was sponsored by the Deutsche Post at one point as well, so.
Mm-hmm.
It was sponsored by them.
The fact that they have company names on some of these cars means that they have the contract with them, and,
Yeah.
It's not a bunch of made-up liveries. You see him got loose there, trying to pass this guy.
He looks on the inside. He looks on the inside.
Yeah, they're racing. They're just not lining up and going around the track. They are actually racing. And see, he had to fall back because he got cut off, and now he's going to catch up to him again. That's the second or third time he's done that, where he's had to fall. You see, he's flashing his lights at him again. This
I'm coming for you.
this is enjoyable AI for road racing. Again, we touched at the top of the show that this is all road racing. There's not a single solitary oval in this sim. Not a one.
I wish I could paint a bunch of cars for that.
Yeah, that would be cool. That would the way you paint oh yeah.
I like that car. I like that. The shape of that car is really attractive. You can do some really cool stuff. And they did a nice job. Their paint jobs are pretty good, but they're simple, and that's cool. I wonder, yeah, but that's it's because it's set up to be multiplayer for the most part.
Mm-hmm.
And that just causes so much havoc.
Yeah. Well, I've watched other streamers doing iRacing, and if it sits there and your game stutters and everything else until everybody else's liveries load.
Well, look at the RF2 thing. I mean, it has the system to have you download everybody's skins, but it's a disaster. Oh, look at that.
Yeah.
There's my car.
Your car is out here somewhere.
I saw it. It was in the pits. It's in front of these guys, a couple ahead. Oh, it's gone now.
Yeah. And here's some more AI racing each other.
What is that? What is that black and white one?
Ice.
And that looks like a BMW.
Ice.
That is a coyote. That's a coyote. Or cougar, I mean. Look at the front of it. It looks like a Monza with a paint. The way it's painted. The way it's painted. Those headlight shapes.
And the only reason, right? I don't know. Because I race in a comparison. The only reason I really wanted AI is because, well, you're talking about RaceRoom having great offline AI for road racing. Unfortunately, stuff in Airtown 3 is not such stuff out of the box that you can really do for ovals, and so of a shame. NASCAR, IndyCar, World of Outlaws. Heck, even if you want to do some P cars and dirt rally, have some rallycross, but rallycross and short course off-road racing, even stuff that iRacing has that other sims really don't. That I would like to have AI for. That's really the only reason I'm looking towards iRacing.
Did you see that Did you see that pass? That's what you expect.
Cool. It was cool.
Yeah.
Oh, he's diving to.
And this guy, he's trying to pass him back now.
That's a lap car too. I'm a lap car.
This is a practice, so this isn't the leaders or anything. I've actually not run a race, so there you go.
What strength are they? They look slow.
85, because I'm slow.
But then that's fine. I mean, because sometimes slow racing is fun, but because it's more. There's more racing.
Right. I try to have them right around my strength. That way I don't win and they don't run away with the race. That's what I do. But I need more practice at this track. I really do. I need more practice at a lot of tracks, actually.
Zolder's got some odd elevation changes that make it tough.
Yeah, it's just, and then that one tight chicane that, the breaking point is kind of hard to hit, for me anyway.
Now this video, are you in this race? What is this?
Yeah, I'm right there in the 40. I'm back. This is just practice. I'm not racing.
Is that you? Was that you in the pits there?
Yeah. Yeah. This is what I did last night. I was watching the AI just for the fact of this shit, what we're going to be talking about today. But look at this. I mean, they are racing. They're not just lining up and going around the track.
Oh, wow, that guy just dove in.
Right.
Tried to make it, but got a bit tail happy.
You know what? He's made that same move and that same turn several times.
Actually, it's different.
Watch that.
It's different cars. We've actually gone around and seen different cars. We're back to these two guys.
The AI line.
Yeah.
That's the AI line.
Yeah.
So now you know how to do it. Go around them.
Yeah, you go around the outside if you can. But I've tried going let's see if I can find.
Are these cars spec? I don't remember.
I think they are.
I don't remember either. I didn't do much setup work with them.
No, I haven't. This is the base setup that I'm driving here, so. And it's not a bad driving car. And like I said, I would like the force feedback better in this than in a Assetto Corsa.
I remember it felt good.
Yeah, it feels like GTR too. I have to run to the bathroom real quick. I will be right back. I've been sitting here for almost 3 hours without going.
So how are you doing, Bill?
Oh, doing fine. Doing pretty good.
I was Mystical on,
Yeah, I saw that.
yeah, he's working on mod, and heck, I managed to 3D model a basic-ish car. And I'm thinking about trying to, play around with that, too, since I finally figured out how to 3D model.
Did you, and you've seen the thing at the pits, right, that basically has you sub stuff in? I mean, that's the, to me,
I know that,
if I could model...
Hey, want to see the little project that I'm doing?
What are you doing?
I've been almost 3 days straight just painting, designing, and trying to get as much stuff I could get done. And I'm still not done. I still got more to do. Alright. I'm about to post it in Dan's Discord. Alright.
Let's see if I can't get a picture of my, of the model I made.
Alright. From now.
Oh, what are you doing?
I'm pulling into the pit.
What are you doing?
I pulled into the pits, and this is where I get my repair. We've watched this once already. And I don't the other one that I did last night was these guys at Road America. But the success and failure of this, like you said, it's probably the name is terrible, and I don't disagree.
You can't remember it.
Yeah, it is not well named. But I think their success is the fact that you have decent AI racing, and that there should, if you're into road racing with AI, which there are still people out there who do that, and you don't mind. And it's $93 right now for all the content. At least that's what mine's at. I don't know what it is.
But that's because you have some of it.
Right, that's what I'm saying. But I don't know what it. I went before before you bought me all the content. I think it was $114 for all the content, somewhere around $115.
Something like
yeah. So if you want to compare donuts to dollars for iRacing and this is far cheaper. far cheaper if you're a road racer.
There's far too much comparison going on. Every sim has its merits.
Right.
Every last one, even Heat has its merits.
Right.
I'm kind of tired of the battle because it's like, you know what? You can't do this and that. You can't do this and that. You can't do this. So it's. You got to go where the content is.
Right.
Is that those prototypes? Those free ones?
Yeah, these are the free prototypes at Road America last night. I did this. I was on and off.
Hey, that's a good looking car.
It is a good looking car.
Like I said, from the front, it definitely does have a daytime task from the front.
Mm-hmm.
If they would have been allowed to progress farther, they probably would have.
Yeah, probably. Oh, what ended up similar to that.
I know the people that own Corvette, they are really, let me put it this way, they're very stingy about about the Corvette being used in games.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, but I think they do have I was looking through the content packs, and they do have a prototype proper in the sim.
Mm-hmm. They do.
Yeah, and that's been in rFactor 1. Since rFactor 1, there's been a Corvette.
Yeah.
Well, was it the Corvette, or was it the...
Well, I think rFactor 2 was to have one, but when the license changed over, it sort of dropped.
Well, yeah, because I remembered right at the time when because I know when I bought rFactor 1 or 2 originally, and that was the very early build. And right after that, they started kind of swapping their what do I want to say? They started pushing it harder than RF1. They just left RF1 alone. And then right about then, they got the Corvette licenses. And they had, every street version, and it was like all that. Is that a Valvoline car?
Mm-hmm. That's exactly what that is. Look at them. They are beating and banging.
Whoa. Yeah, wow.
I didn't see that last night.
Wow, he just stood
And that's RA.
Yeah. That's Road America.
Cars look small on that track.
And then the other one just going. It's like side. Yeah, that Valvoline car just threw it up the inside. I gotta say that was a pretty cool move.
God.
But yeah, Platinum Board, they are a pain in the butt just to work with to get the license. Like iRacing's trying to get.
Is there no Corvette in?
Yeah, there is, but I don't own it.
It's the C6. It's the old one, not the new one. It's the old one.
Yeah.
But they won't. They're afraid of that. Yeah, iRacing get it. That other teams are going to learn their information, and I'm like, what the heck? Like seriously?
Really? You think they can derive that some other way? All they got to do is walk out into some parking lot and take a scanner and scan the damn thing.
Exactly.
I don't understand it. They're just a pain in the butt to work with.
Yeah, if we could afford scanners, we could put everything into the games. I mean, you just walk around scanning. You get scanned die-casts. I mean, then you have a car.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's an Audi TT Cup.
Yeah, imagine trying to work with Ferrari because if it's one of the big things was they didn't want the Ferraris to be able to race in any cars but Ferraris. You can't really do too much. There's limit you can do in customization. Even the license will cost you a pretty penny if you want to get a Ferrari into a game.
And there's no Ferrari in RaceRoom.
Porsche's the same way, actually.
There's roof cars in here, but no Porsche. Maybe there is a Porsche. I don't remember now.
No, the actual Porsches, I mean, they make them change up little things so that they're not 100% accurate.
They basically make them fictional. Make it look like a real car, but make it fictional.
Yeah.
And that's one way to get around the license.
No, you're talking about the roof thing.
Yeah.
The roof thing. The roof is a real company that builds fake Porsches. I mean, it's like...
I think unless it came with one of these packs, it's a free track. There is one Porsche in here. It's a 962C, and that's the only Porsche actually in here that I know of off the top of my head. That's scrolling through here pretty quick. Oh, there's a Cayman, whatever the hell you want to call that damn.
Cup too.
Cayman.
930. Yeah, so there's a few Porsches in here. I wish this thing was in alphabetical order. That would make it so much easier. There's another one, another Cayman. But there are no Ferraris in this. I did notice that.
Ooh, they do got
Big reason to sell Corsa fund is so easy to work with Ferrari was because they're Italian. I guess being Italian might have made Ferrari a bit more keen to work with them because, fellow Italian manufacturer, Italian sim, why not?
Hey, there's Radical.
Mm-hmm.
That car's tough.
Mm-hmm.
Got any Radicals?
Actually, it's easier to go here and to see what I got. What's available.
I think I got some GT3 cars out of there. I don't remember.
I don't have any. And the GT3s, the couple of Audis, a Bentley, BMWs, Callaway Corvette, the Camaro. Yeah, more Corvettes. Old Ford GTs, Mustangs.
There's no Lexus in there.
No.
A Mustang GT3. That's funny.
Mercedes, of course, Nissans, and these, and then the Porsche 911 in this competition zone. Yeah, whatever.
Painted car.
I'm not Italian.
It looks like an interloper to me.
The Ford GT3 is actually a real car, but
Yeah.
well, I think there's multi-mat. Yeah, it is. And there's also another GT3 by MARC who pretty much made a Ford pushed it the old school way, where instead of the manufacturer building the cars themselves and you buying it from them, you pretty much take the body work and build it up yourself. You know, so like they used to do back in the olden days.
And
the Montas were not like from Chevy factory.
Tautus. Oh my god.
The F4s. F4s.
Oh my god.
How do you do a multi-science race?
I think you set up in the server. Yeah. We've never set up a server, so we don't know.
Well, we did.
But we did.
No, we were jumping on other people's servers.
Yeah, we were. There's the Audi T. There's a lot of stuff that's in the Assetto Corsa and rFactor 2. The Tautus, the Audi TT Cup, a few other things that are in both of those that I'm not too. You know how people take from this and rob from that may not have come from here. You know, at least the bodies. And we can go back. I've actually never even explored the folder in here. Do you know that?
The bodies come from there, but what?
I don't think there's much in that folder.
I've never explored the folder.
Yes, I could see modders potentially taking stuff about like the.
Yeah, I think that's happened. That's happened.
I mean, like
I know
this.
that the modders definitely do. When an official company actively run the gauntlet to take a Tautus model from RaceRoom and put it in RF2, would they really?
Not
to run that
well.
gauntlet?
What I'm thinking is not rFactor 2, but Assetto Corsa, because that's not an official car.
There's no flats or anything in here.
Yeah.
I'm looking at
just
cars.
cameras.
Like in the Cougar, just a camera.
Yeah, that's camera folder. That's it. Is there a document folder? That would be Race 07. It might be under Simbin. Nope, that's Race 07 also, and GTR 2. I may have put that in there. But, yeah, there's no...
There's nothing. No guts are in here.
Yeah.
Yeah, so how would they manage to all this out? Can't access them in the first place.
There's...
Unless somebody finds a way to...
My games. Here we go. Grid Simbin, RaceRoom. Here we go. It's under my gear. There we go. It's just, and again, it's just browser data, portal downloads, avatars.
Where are you at in documents?
In
documents?
User data folder.
Yeah, documents, my game, Simbin, RaceRoom experience.
Got it. Yeah.
AI, yeah, control car setup, log, menu, player one. There's really nothing.
Oh.
They're well protected.
Yes, they are. So if somebody has actually been taking the stuff out, they're really good at what they do.
Yeah.
Target data, PC, base, cars. There it is. Car models.
Where?
Steam Maps, Common, RaceRoom Experience, Target Data, PC, Base, Cars, Car Models. It takes a minute to get there, but you get there.
Let me try that again. Okay, so Common, RaceRoom Experience.
And it's...
And then where?
RaceRoom Experience,
Game?
Target Data, PC. It's up
Target Data, okay.
It's up on the screen.
Base.
So
there they are.
Yeah,
Models.
but it's public files, and I don't know what
Cougar.
Properties.
Cougar. Oh yeah, there's no
unknown. It's an unknown application. So there you go.
They lock them.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
They lock them up.
They probably have to find a way to reverse engineer to find.
Well, the people they do, they find ways. There's roofs and roofs in here. There's two of those. That's a good way of finding out what cars. Because you actually have every car in the game is already.
All the
You just gotta buy it you just got to buy it to
unlock it.
Unlock it.
Yeah, I'm looking at the track list. Oh my! Look at that! Look at that Leipzig ring.
There's 7 Porsches, whatever. Tracks. Oh boy, there's 343 files.
Yeah, so there's nothing you can do about that. So
no,
you just got to be happy, and then I think that's some of the appeal. Is it's no
fuss,
hassle,
no fuss, no muss. Go race.
You just go in there. You go in there and race. Yep. You just go race.
Which from
something to be said about that.
Yeah, there's something exactly. That's I think one of the wins is that you just go in. It is a racing sim, and you're going in there to race. And by the way, we're on part 2 of the show since my internet hiccuped because it did stop and restart. So for a few minutes, so we're on part 2. So yeah, I wish I could do it to combine the 2 of them. But anyway,
hi, Tammy.
And she's not in here. I have my door closed. Behind me is Izzy.
Oh, is that you?
No, that's.
Am I hearing you? You're hearing your family? Yeah.
I don't know who's.
Okay.
It might be Ian's
Lil bro.
Yeah. So when it comes down to the success or failure of, when it comes down to nuts and bolts, the success or failure of RaceRoom racing experience, it's probably a 50-50 split in my eyes. They just need one little push to push them over to where they're used more. I don't know what that would be to get them that one little push. The advertising probably would help because they don't advertise iRacing.
You get the impression that they're waiting for something.
Yeah.
It's like they're waiting for something to happen and then they're going to go big. I don't think that's the case.
No.
I think they're doing everything they can. I think they're low budget. That's what I think.
Well, and whatever money they're getting is from the people buying the content. That's it there.
And it ain't much.
And it ain't much. No, it's not. And when you sit there and look at it, some of the screen, when you're loading up, they have the block pane logos on some of the cars. So at one point, they were licensed to do that and lost it to Set a Course, the competition zone. That's a Set a Course came in like a gangbuster, and there's still a gangbuster competition zone. I don't have it. I don't know how good or bad it is, so I can't really pass any judgment on it. But from what I've seen, it landed like a lead balloon.
Yeah, before I heard of it, since the most recent update's gotten a lot better.
Which one?
They fixed the good competition.
ACC.
ACC has gotten a lot better since its most recent update.
I'm separated by the fact that I just don't care for the track. I love the idea that there's a single series sim. I really do. I think that's the best way to do it. I think that's the way it all should be.
American tracks.
Oh, maybe, yeah.
So, at least a few.
Yeah.
One.
Well, that's basically how, if you want to look over the history of sim racing.
They're all English, they're all British or European companies. That's
right. That's the big thing right there. That it's all based in European. Also, the Europeans are a little bit more game friendly. They are.
I don't know what's going on with the IMSA people. I don't understand why there's not an IMSA. IMSA is very, very popular.
Right.
Very popular.
Yeah. I mean, there's
class.
I think that's sort of what RF2 was trying to go for, is represent IMSA. I think that's sort of what they're loosely trying to go for in that direction.
I honestly, but then again, they threw a whole bunch of open wheels in there, downloadable, content.
I wish RaceRoom would, at least somehow add the day and night cycle. I think that would step, the game to the next level for it.
Well, AC doesn't have day-night cycle in it, and it was it's been modded to do that. That's something RaceRoom does not allow. is that mod.
Yeah.
The GTR 2 is probably the best example of previous sim of theirs. Was run off the ISI engine. I have no idea what engine RaceRoom is run off of. I've never even bothered looking. But the ISI G Motor 2 was
probably the same.
Most vulnerable engine there was out there. Now it's obsolete. But back in that 2000 through 2005, that was the engine to have. The G Motor 2. It had the day-night cycle. It had the weather. It had rain at least. It didn't have snow, but then again, who races in the snow other than hill climbers and rally people? Yeah, you do. Swedes. Yeah,
Swedes do.
Yeah, that's because it snows
Damn
there
Swedes.
30 years, 33, 300 days, 300 days out of the year. It's snow up there, but
that's right, Johnny. I'm talking to you.
But it had all of that in there in GTR 2, and their next progression, I think RaceRoom or Race 07 has the day-night transition. I don't even remember. That's again another sim I don't touch very often. It was still moddable. I think it still had the weather in it. Again, didn't play with it that much. Had it for years. Don't play it. But that landed again like a lead balloon, and it should not have. But all those sims, if you look at it, GTR, GTL, GTR2, Race 07, they were one series until people started modding them. The RaceRoom was, or Race On, Race 07, Race On, and Race. Those were the three titles. Those were all WTCC related. And yeah, they threw in some GT3 cars, but the main series of those and the tracks were all the WTCC stuff.
Well, I think that's the problem with the Sims. I really do. That's why I like ACC's approach. One series,
and not moddable.
All the cars.
And not moddable.
But they, I mean, you can paint. You put paints in.
Yeah, you can put paints in.
But that's enough. But I feel bad that it's like every Sims might have that focus originally, but they're afraid to just lock down. It's like, build two Sims completely the same with different series as the focus. You could do that.
Yeah, you can.
Who cares?
Because honestly, what is the difference between GT racing and IMSA racing? Whatever they call it in Europe. What's the difference? The cars, the classes, yes, but the cars are relatively the same.
Yeah, GT3 cars and GT3 cars and IMSA cars are very similar.
Exactly.
One of the classes.
Couple of them.
I'm worried about automobilistas too. One thing I don't like about P cars is that they went for the sandbox smattering a smorgasbord of cars, but the Madness engine doesn't allow modding. I mean, you're always going to have those gaps, because at least with modding, yes, you may not have all the cars, but at least there's a chance that if an intrepid community member wants to, they can at least potentially fill out the gaps themselves.
Yeah, that's the issue. That's exactly right. Well,
but with stuff like P cars too, what they give you is what they give you, and then if there's holes, you're pretty stuck with those holes.
Well, they're all bent on this model of selling DLC, which is fine. But why not just sell a whole new sim with this focus?
You can actually make more money.
Build. Yeah, you can. Rather than selling $3, $4, $5 cars, why not sell a $49 sim? If you put out a Trans Am sim that covered various years, I'd be down for it.
You'd be happier than picking them.
I'd get in line and take my money. Same thing with Can-Am. Get it all in there. You could use the same model, the same base, everything. Just put it in here and say, this is Trans Am, this is Can-Am.
Yeah, I think it all started, the main culprits about that shift are first rFactor with the multiple series, and then iRacing with the paid content mods. I'd say those are like the two big ones that sort of shifted the landscape. rFactor introduced
to what?
The idea of having multiple series under one umbrella.
Shifted it to what? Shifted it to what?
towards the modern structure of multiple series and paid DLC. As rFactor started the multiple series, and modability stuff, multiple series, and then iRacing started the paid. Really was the first sim, if I recall, to do the whole paid content thing as its main focus. And eventually, as DLC became more prominent in the gaming industry, everyone else sort of moved to that. So I think those I'd point to, at least sim racing wise, those two as the main ones that spearheaded the culture shift from one series, new game focusing on a series, to a variety of series and releasing content packs as you go, releasing more content, paid content add-ons as you go.
Yeah.
Well, you could actually go back a little further than rFactor 1, because rFactor 1 came out in 2007. GTR and GTL. It's 07.
It's 05.
Is it 05? I thought it was 07.
Yeah.
But the GTL actually was more the introducing of multi-class, but people weren't interested in the old cars. Except your select few. I mean, it's got its own little. And
hey, you know what? The people with money were.
Yeah,
with money were.
Yeah, now
maybe the kids weren't.
But if you look at the other channels like me,
huge following of GTL people still.
Yeah, there is.
I mean, I got an email from I can't remember which the site. I want to say it's European Endurance Racing or whatever, but I got an email from them, and they're still GTR2, and they're focused, and they're doing everything they can. It's like that group that's doing the improved RF1 stuff, the tracks, the F1 stuff. I mean, they're taking the technology that's available and focusing it on the machine and the capability of the digital our technology, and making the game look a whole lot better. So they're just improving it, and there's a whole lot of things going on that's not just what's the newest sim.
Yeah.
And GT3.
Right now, I'm overwhelmed by the fact that there's so many dang sims. I have too many sims and not enough time. But the problem, I'm a slave to the content. I'm a slave to getting to be able to do what I want to do. And to do that, I have to have various sims, because I can't do everything I want in Assetto Corsa. Because otherwise, I would do everything in Assetto Corsa. Because in my opinion, it's got most of the boxes clicked. I mean, that content manager just whips it up to be state of the art. I mean, there's nothing better than that. Nobody can even touch their UI because of that. I haven't opened up Assetto Corsa with the Assetto Corsa logo, through the main
I can't.
thing.
I can't. It won't open for me.
I can't. I haven't done that in months and months. I use Content Manager because it's so easy to use.
Yeah, you're probably
and the fact that
sims. Mine, yes, it's not, at least for what I want to do, not enough. But
no,
of course I have.
No, you're. It's not Sims. It's not Sims for you. It's content for you.
Yeah, it's content.
Yeah. See, you're in the same boat I am.
Yeah,
you're exactly in the same boat I am.
Knowing you all, I've beat that dead horse 100 times. But I'm still gonna ride it till I can't no more,
Well, then that's understandable.
I drag it down to the old house and ride it till I can't no more.
I saw what you were saying to Mystical. I thought, he's not talking about doing what you're wanting. He's talking about doing some kind of fictional generic thing so people can apply what they want. And you're looking at it thinking, I want them to put together good models for various years of NASCAR, and I'm looking at it and saying, can we get some Trans Am cars in there? So it's not going to happen because you can't have both.
No.
I mean, what I did with the ASA 90 and the Trans Am mod is as far as it's ever going to go. I mean, putting a Porsche on a Camaro body and saying that's a Porsche. It ain't going to go any farther than that. People say, do you have the template for that? It's like, you know what? The paint's what makes it work. If you don't use that paint, guess what? It doesn't work. Same thing with the Nissan 300 ZX. If you don't put that Paul Newman paint on it, guess what? It doesn't look like a Nissan. It looks like a Camaro with some funky lines on it. Yeah. And the ace on that is TW TW.com. I mean, if he would do a template, we'd be in high cotton, because that boy could do stuff that was unheard of. Just by putting some shadows, some dirt, and suddenly it looks like a completely different car. It's like, oh crap, how did he do that?
Yeah, I know. I saw like one, but even what he is doing, it's good enough for me because at least the main thing is I want to put paint on something. But the problem, no matter which mod I have, is picking and choosing what makes and models I want. You know, that's the reason I haven't done much painting on mod and cut mods. Is I are stuck with the 4 models, and if I want to add
one of the things that we just lost somebody, probably Mad Dog, or Bill.
No, Dog's. Oh, he's gone. No, I'm here.
Okay.
Dog's gone.
The one thing about NASCAR, the people who are doing the one for Assetto Corsa, if they could actually get all their ducks in a row, that's their big problem. They're just scattered all over the place. If they could actually get their ducks in a row, Bill's gonna have to go. If they could get their ducks in a row, that would be the end all of non-paid sim for NASCAR. But they're so scattered and all over the place and working on 50 different things at one time that they're just not getting anything put out worth a damn.
I'm looking at this Cup 90 thing that they're doing.
Yeah.
That might be the Crossroads. There's something about it that's way better than what they're thinking around with the Cup 19 stuff.
Right.
You know? Because that Cup 19 thing is just dragging on, and it's all about paints. It's like, you know what? Let the community paint the dang cars. What's the matter with you? You know, the community will paint the cars. Waiting for paints on a mod like that, that's crazy. Put together, I think what they're doing is they're stalling while they're trying to develop the rules. The sad thing is if you go to RF2, the rules are in place. You just got to turn them on and train the AI, and boom, you got something, you know? Yeah. There's already rolling starts in RF2. So
yeah, once again, RF2, the time harder to work, it's accurate, but I guess, like I said, it's where the content is in. There's just more people running AC anyways than RF2.
You know, the whole thing is, it goes back again to the licensing. Yeah. Because, you know, to walk in the door at NASCAR, I'm sure they got a number. The first thing to do is they slide the number, and okay, yeah, for $27 million, you can do this. Mm-hmm. You know, and these little sim companies don't have that kind of cash. Yeah. They don't have it. So it ain't going to happen. You know? And their demands, NASCAR cuts their own throat, you know?
Yeah.
I mean, and of course they own a chunk of iRacing now, so it's all going to go.
Well, iRacing was developed by Roush, whoever owns Roush now.
Yeah.
You know, that's all part of John Henry. That's all part of his thing. That's why if you look over the last 20 years of NASCAR sim racing, you had two choices. You had EA Sports and you had Papyrus. In 2004, or late 2003, NASCAR decided to have one company. They went with the company that had the most money, EA Sports. At that particular time, EA Sports and ISI, who was making the games, the engines for the games, left and took their engine with them. That's why NASCAR sim racing was a hunk of junk. And anything,
it was too much arcade, is what.
Yeah,
it was. It technically is. I know that I took files from NASCAR racing, and using the ISI tools, I put them into rFactor, which means that if it was a completely different engine, it would not be as easy.
Well, they took what they were having, what they had from the ISI engine. That was the G Motor 1. And they abandoned that when they came out with the G Motor 2. They wanted more money from EA Racing, EA Sports, and EA Sports didn't want to pay them. They were paying, you know, it all comes down to that. The G Motor 2, which is rFactor 1, they wanted to make that in an EA Sports all-around racing simulator. They wanted to do everything they did with rFactor 1 with the EA Sports banner. So they would just imagine if that took place, G-Motor 2 in EA Sports, what would have happened with them? That would have exploded. They would have been the sim race to end all sim racing because they could afford all the licensing. They could afford everything, and rFactor 2, for the first 10 years of its existence, would not have been a bunch of crap mods made by people and a few good mods made by people. It would have been probably what AC is today, if that had transpired. But it didn't. So they took their ball, the G-Motor 2. They sold it to SimBim, licensing for that to SimBim, and then they made rFactor 1. rFactor 1, if you compare it to GTR 2, even though it's the same engine, are two entirely different games. Sims. They're two entirely different sims. The feel of GTR 2 over rFactor 1 is leaps and bounds because it's SimBim, who does race. Again, we don't know what engine they're using. What engine is RaceRoom engine using? Does anybody actually know what engine RaceRoom is using? And we're all typing now.
Apparently, it still is using IS2. So, though it's still using the ISI engine for the fit. So, the Graphix is its own engine. It's its own custom graphics.
In February 2007 interview at RaceRoom simulating website race department, Christopher Speed announced RaceRoom will be racing the Rand R graphics engine with the Unreal Engine 4.
Oh, okay, so it must have shifted over.
Yeah, this is according to Wikipedia.
I'm on the Wikipedia article from RaceRoom.
What's the date of what's the date?
Let's see what this is. Let me pull this up here because I just read this.
That's the graphics engine. Unreal is the graph.
Right.
Yeah.
So the physics is ISI Unreal graphics. So like how it is Unreal for the graphics, but they're using their own physics engine for the actual physics simulation code.
Which is probably leftover bits and pieces from ISI Motor 2.
Yeah,
it's still, but it's built utilizing the. It's all right here. Let's pull this up so you can see it. It is on the screen. Unlike prior SimBim Sector 3 Studio releases, RaceRoom uses its own priority Ren R graphics engine. They're talking about graphics again.
And custom audio.
Right. Which I actually like the
original ISI as a but was based off of and then developed. Okay, but the underlying at least it's so like saying RaceRoom. So it's I guess it's they saying RaceRoom is ISI based. It's like saying iRace is Airtime 3 based.
Right. Yeah, and it's improved since then.
It's been completely overhauled.
Right. And if you actually read what's on the screen in front of me,
I see.
It's saying that the RaceRoom engine to be aided by a partnership with SimBim Studios UK, who will be utilizing the Unreal Engine 4 for GTR 3. So if you read this, if you read it like it says, RaceRoom, which is old SimBim, which is now Sector 3, is still part of SimBim Studios. So they're all. Sector 3 works with real race car drivers. They give a list of names.
Okay. I was just going off of what I heard.
Yeah, sometimes telemetry derived from global partnerships with DTM, WTC, ADCC, GT Masters, and KW Superior suspensions, and also further develop physics models for the cars. So they actually don't. They've taken that ISI G-Motor 2 and improved it and made their own, which is called the Ren R engine for the physics. And honestly, I think it's one of the better ones out there. The graphics, if you're looking at it, it's got the same graphics that P-Cars 2 does. I think the Automobilista 2.
What are you talking about? You talking about AM. What are you talking about?
RaceRoom is using the same graphics engine that P-Cars 2 uses, in the same graphic engine that.
No. Isn't that? They're doing that now.
Yeah. Yeah.
That doesn't, because they don't look at all alike.
Yeah, but they don't. And well, this again, look at the way GTR 2 looks superior to rFactor 1. It's the same engine, it's the same everything, but how they developed it.
Technology.
How they developed it.
Down the road technology.
Right.
We have better equipment too.
Way better equipment. That's another reason why I don't like.
And the DX also changed.
Mm-hmm.
So,
Mm-hmm.
They're making this DX 11 or 12 code capable. So that's going to make it look better.
Mm-hmm.
But P-Cars 1 looks fabulous. So and it's ancient. It's ancient now.
Yeah, it is. It is.
And it's still not cheap.
Still fun to drive
and
too.
As far as
when I can drive it,
going out there and fun to drive, it's.
Mm-hmm.
If I could get Tom in the P-Cars 2, we'd be driving Willow, man. That's for sure.
Yeah, it's that Willow is
gorgeous in either one of them.
Right.
It's gorgeous in either one of them, but it's more realistic in P-Cars 1.
Right.
But yeah. So it's that never-ending battle. What are they doing right? What are they doing
wrong?
A little bit of everything. It's just like RF2. They better get their crap together because you know what? They're losing people.
They are losing people. Losing, and they're all going to set a course. Unfortunately, they're not going anywhere else.
Playing games with us and just get it released.
Mm-hmm.
Although we're all sick of fix on the fly hot fixes and all this crap. It's like, come on, can't you develop a game? But the problem is you got 4 guys in their studios and there's 4 guys in the room.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I'm busy doing this track. I'm busy doing that. I'm busy doing. They don't have like 200 people in a building trying to make a sim that's quality.
Well, if you load up RaceRooms, one of the splash screen banners is "We're hiring," and they put up a list of what they're hiring. I've seen on a set of course of Competition Zone that they're hiring. Same thing with SES with truck simulators. All these companies are trying to hire the same people because there's not a big pool of people who want to work on racing games / sims because the money involved is not near as big as it is for a first-person shooter. World of Warcraft is a prime example. That game's been around for 20 years. It's still being played. It's still very popular, and they're making tons of money. Would you rather go work for Sector 3 Studios and make a little bit of money?
Well, the money's in the console-based games.
That is, and if you look, the RaceRoom is only Microsoft PC only.
Yeah, and so is RF2, and so is. Set of course.
No,
of course it's a console.
Kind of set of course, but none of
it.
It's not
the same. It's not the same game.
And it's not it's not downloadable content. I don't think it's moddable. I think there's downloadable content from.
Yeah, you gotta have a PC to mod. You can't mod with it.
Exactly. So again, with the console, you get no paint unless there's a paint shop in the car. In the game. I have no idea. So you don't get the. I don't know if it's. Well. You go back and harken back to Need for Speed games on the Nintendo 64 or the GameCube or whatever. Yeah. That's what I played them on. You could paint the cars so much. You could put so much on them, but you had to stick to their parameters.
Same thing with the older NASCAR, game.
Right.
By EA Sports on the same console. Yes, you had. I think as far as console NASCAR games, NASCAR 09 was the first that allowed you to have free reign of customization. That was importing skins made on the PC.
On the PC.
Fusion X games had a Forza-style layered paint booth, though it is a bit tricky to work around. It's a bit tricky to use.
So when you want a point and shoot, get out there and race sim on a selected number of tracks with selected number of cars. RaceRoom racing experience is basically the sim because there's no modding, there's no painting, there's no nothing. You go out and race. Every other racing game / sim has that pretty much ability, even if it's just adding liveries. ACC adding liveries, P cars 1 and 2, you can add liveries. There is no fuss, no muss to the RaceRoom racing experience, which I think if you just want to race, that's the one to get. And it's very raceable. The AI, if you notice, they race. They have, like what they're putting on cars now, the avoidance thing. They avoid. They seem to be able to do a little bit more than, say, rFactor 1. Definitely better than, well, you're comparing it to an oval racing game. You can't really do that because there's not, like we said earlier, there's not an oval car or race track in RaceRoom. So there you go.
Yeah.
So when it comes down to nuts and bolts and things, if you just want to race road racing and you want to spend, I think it's $125 total if you buy it from scratch, which is really not a lot of money when you look at some of the other sims. ACC I think costs $60, and you're getting way less content, way less content. If you look at iRacing, if you just want to do the road racing, it's way less money for that. If you don't want online racing, then you're definitely not going to do iRacing. So if you want, you can do online racing with RaceRoom. We do know that. That's available to you. It's just not as popular as iRacing is for that particular fact. It's very similar actually to iRacing in the fact that it has downloadable, purchasable. I can't say that word. If you want to buy content, buyable content, which is not a word, by the way. Yeah, I can't still say it. Content.
Purchasable.
That's the word.
Purchasable.
Content. Yeah, for some reason my tongue's getting all trippy over that. Expandable. Expandable. The iRacing, as opposed to iRacing for that, is you got the monthly fee, or the yearly fee, or the 90-day fee, or whatever fee you're paying, plus the cost of the content. Where in RaceRoom, you're just paying for the content. And I do believe it's around $125 if you go from the bare bones system, the free system, to the full sim.
I'm trying to find a list of...
Not really a lot of money when you come down to it. Really not. I've spent probably that much on ETS2. Bits and pieces here and there. Because I bought this thing, and then I went and buy it for a month or two. Then I'd scratch together $13, $14 for the next thing. And I probably should have spent that on RaceRoom, but whatever, I didn't. That's my own bad. But we might see some over the next few months, some dribs and drabs of AI racing with RaceRoom in this on this channel. Because the 20 minutes I spent with it yesterday for one point, and I spent a half an hour on another point, I was having fun. In fact, I was getting a little perturbed at myself, especially as older, that I couldn't make that one chicane. So now I want to go in there and I want to race it and I want to drive it to figure out that chicane and to get the AI up over 90% to race better with, it's just personal challenges there. Plus on top of what I'm doing with Zoom, plus on top of the truck driving that I do. So yeah, my ticket's going to be pretty full here for a bit here because I'm honestly thinking that. I'm not going to be able to do like some of the other guys do on the streaming shows where they race with their subscribers and followers for a while. So I'm not even going to worry about that. I was thinking about that. That was some of the stuff I was thinking about, but that's not it. But if I put on good shows with AI, with the RaceRoom, it may help them. It may help me. It may not help either of us in the long run. But for me, I really do enjoy the RaceRoom. I really did. I'm definitely going to be doing more of it. I'm hoping that it spurs other people into wanting to do it. Tom.
For that to be successful, the main thing is your banter while you're driving.
Right. Right.
You got to be entertaining.
Well,
that's
you should.
the thing.
When I was driving by myself, I was talking out loud. Like I've gotten so used to talking. I don't talk a lot during Zoom shows because you guys are hysterical. Especially you, Bill, when you start singing, which you didn't do this weekend, but
it was Volkswagens. I was trying to figure out how to sing "Good Old Boys" in German. That's actually what I was doing most of the race. I was thinking, okay, how do I "Und good old"? I was trying to figure out how to sing that in German. I thought that would be funny.
Yeah.
I never did come up with a full sentence.
A road registered Zax.
I'm trying to find a list of vanilla content for RaceRoom.
I think if you go on,
there must be a list somewhere.
I think if you go on their site and not log in, I think you can get.
I tried that
and it didn't work. Okay.
It gave me a list of the stuff you could buy, but not a list of the stuff.
Usually what I do I just do a Google search, since there's always somewhere out there.
I'm gonna say free content list, because what I'm thinking about is we could get on and do something that's, like you said, no fuss, just okay. We're gonna run these cars at whatever track they got,
right?
And I could get Tom on board with that, maybe. They gotta be something that'll store experience car list, free cars.
Free content right here. I found it. Free content cars. RaceRoom Formula Junior. The 134. RaceRoom English content _ features. Let me put up on the screen here.
Here, looking at, where is it? I don't see it.
It's right there. There's the list of cars and tracks. You actually get.
So you get you get some of the silhouettes, or do you get them all?
Which
you get the Cougars.
Which ones are the
Cougars? The two Cougars.
You
get a Saline S7. You get those two. I don't know what those cars are.
Those are those.
Because they're fake.
Silhouette coupes.
The Junior is a. That's like a Formula Ford or a Formula V.
That's a Formula Ford. I actually did do a little bit on that.
Put it up.
That's right.
I want to see
right there.
Put it up.
It's right there.
No, Formula Ford. Oh yeah, it is the Formula.
And
they're probably run those more than any.
And they're fun to drive in RaceRoom. They are really fun to drive. And they're Swedish. They're Swedish.
Oh hell! Oh, okay. There's my car. There's my car.
See?
Oh, look at that.
There's some good-looking paint jobs.
What you gonna drive?
I don't know.
There's Mick right there. There's Mick.
The 25 looks good.
24. I haven't seen it yet.
It's coming.
There you go. That's you. Yeah.
28. Yeah, the 28 don't look too bad either.
Keep going. How many are there? There's plenty. Ooh, that's pretty.
Yeah. There's.
Oh, look at that. That's an old DTM car.
There you go. Number 38 Snap-on looks just like my Bass Al cars. The 3 looks like a Bass Al car.
There you go.
The Bentley. I mean, there's a lot of good-looking cars. I mean, this is base content. Even if we just use the regular tracks.
Oh, look at that Deutsch postcard.
Yeah.
They're using the same paint jobs on every car.
On
every type of car. You notice that?
Yep.
That's a cool paint job. That last one.
Yep.
18, which would have been the 16.
Yeah. I'm already way ahead of that. You guys are a little behind. There's plenty of cars to go. I mean, there's 15 cars, so it's not that hard.
16. Yeah, there's 20 cars.
Yeah, so having a series with 20 drivers
for everybody.
Yep.
The weight's 545. That's gotta be pounds. That's not pounds. Though. That's gotta be kilos.
It could be. But
145 horsepower. That's baby.
Yeah. So there you go.
It's rear-wheel drive.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, inline 4.
And they sound cool as shit.
We should look at that. Okay, so let's pick a track.
All right,
let's go to the track.
Let's go back. Go back to the tracks. The Stowe is a fun track. It's inside.
Is that a fake track?
No, that's inside Silverstone. The Stowie or the Stowe. That's inside Silverstone.
What is? So let's see it.
Say it's a Silverstone Stowe. There's actually a video here. I don't know if I can play it because I'm on YouTube, but there's a long version that's 1.738 kilometers, and a short one that's 1.281 kilometers. I can pull up pictures. I can put up pictures. I can't put up videos because of YouTube. YouTube has gotten. There'll be an explanation video coming on that.
Okay, so which track is it? The short or the long? Oh darn it!
It's
I
just.
was trying to see the length of it.
Oh well, let me get rid of this. It's taking a minute to load because.
Word. I can't read. It's focusy. 3. What does it say? 3.
The long is 1.738 kilometers, and the short is
that's
1.
not even very long. That's not very long.
Well, yeah, but these are little cars now, so.
Yeah, so 1.2 kilometers. It's about 2.
That's about 2. That's about a mile long, isn't it?
Yeah, about a mile. Just.
But you got the RaceRoom track, which again, not really thrilled with myself, but you get 5 layouts, and it starts. The longest is 3.7, and the shortest is 3.3. So, you know.
Oh, that's a 3/4 mile.
Yeah. Well, these aren't. This one isn't too bad, and you also get, I think, I can never pronounce some of these names, seriously. Portimao, I think that's a real one. You get C-Spang, and of course a hill climb, which we will never do. But you get the Porta.
They all have several
layouts. Yeah, the Portimao is a 4.69 kilometers, the longest one, the shortest one.
They got 3 of them.
Yeah.
What's the short one?
3.88. Yeah, the club or club with the chicane adds a little.
That's a lot of straightaway.
Yeah, it makes it fun. That's where the pass.
Can't do it till you try it. Can't know till you try it.
Yep, it looks that's a passing zone.
Go back. That's the Portimao, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
What was the other one? That was what's the RaceRoom race like? Look at there's a chicane, a bus stop almost.
Yeah, there's a bus stop. Well, they're calling it a chicane because they don't call them bus stops in Europe. This is in France, supposedly. 15 turns, a long one, 5 layouts, but
slide up, so you see the bottom.
Yep.
The bottom.
Yeah, got it.
Classic Grand Prix. So it's all blurry. I can't see it.
Shouldn't be.
Shouldn't. Is that a word? Shouldn't.
Well, I can't watch myself in live. So what
I can see it just fine.
What are you viewing?
What did you say?
7,
yours is fine.
Yeah, it's 7. It's probably look. Let's see if it's on 740 HD. That's usually the one that works best for my streams. Not 1040, but 740.
Oh, okay. I just changed the quality. Oh, that's why. Now it's sharp as can be. Sharp as can be now.
Yeah.
Me and I've been watching the show all this time. Well, it's funny because your picture's been looking good, but what you have on the screen hasn't been looking good.
No.
Yeah, those are too long for those cars.
No, they're not. No, they're not. There's only one way to find out.
Yeah,
There's only one way to find out, and that's to go out there and try it. And we could do it. We could do it one Saturday, and while you're developing the next Saturday series.
Might be interesting.
Might be fun.
Is that it? Is that there's only 5 tracks?
Yep, 5 layouts on that.
Five tracks with several layouts apiece.
Yeah, that's it. It's actually not too bad. You get C-Spang, whatever that's called.
C-Pang.
And you get 3 layouts with that, and the longest is the Grand Prix, of course, which is 5 point. That may be too much track.
What? Look, the 2.6. That's a lot of straightaway.
Yeah, that's a lot of straightaway. The 2.7 actually would probably be better for these cars.
Yeah.
And it's only a little bit longer. That's a lot of straightaway. It's a lot of straightaway. But you never know. We won't know until we try. So that's the fun part. But changing a server up to change
Go back to the car list. I can set up. I don't have to set it up on server.
Yeah.
Don't need the server.
Formula Junior, the 1.3, the 134 Judah V8, the Aquala, whatever. Yeah, German. It's a Judd. The Cougar. I think the most fun cars on this list are the Cougars and
the Canard are they the where's the?
Oh, that's okay. That's not it. That's just again a silhouette. That's another silhouette. Cougar.
Okay.
The prototype ones are the this one here, the Agula C1. That's that one. There's plenty of cars to choose from. That's a Bentley, supposedly.
I love the front end. That front end's so DP looking.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
That's a good looking car. Yeah, that could be a lot of fun.
Mm-hmm.
Could be hard as hell to drive, but
no, it's actually not. That's what I was driving at Road America for like 10 minutes last night before I had to stop. But you know, there's always that if you look now, the 007 or whatever one that one was, I don't remember. It says I saw 0, but it's got that classic STP paint job.
You mean Golf?
Yeah, Golf. STP Golf.
Yeah, the Golf Aston Martin.
Yep.
Totally not, because the 0017.
But there's some. It's a fun car.
That's one. Tom would pick this one. Ooh.
There's some good.
Valvoline, jeez. Come on, get to the Castrol. Oh, there you go. Look at that boy.
And McDonald's car.
That'd be the one. I'd probably have to drive that one. The green one. Yeah, that's it. That's it.
So there you go. Once you start really digging into RaceRoom racing experience, you'll find stuff that is for everybody for road racing. That's what I honestly do believe. You just gotta be patient and go with it. And
these are not very high horsepower.
No, they're 15.
Okay.
They still get up there in speed because of the downforce.
Yeah, but 890 pounds. That's why.
Mm-hmm.
That's the Aquila.
Uh-huh.
Aquila.
That's from Denmark. It's not from Mexico. And again, it's going to be all Europeans. But if you really come down to you get the DMO P20.
What are those?
These are prototype ones. Some of these you get for free, not all of them.
Oh, look at that thing, push.
But you only get, 6 cars?
Those look serious.
Yeah, they do. Well,
570 horse.
V12.
That's like early 2010s prototype.
Yeah,
LMPs.
LMPs before they added the big old shark wings.
I hate
shark
those.
Shark fins.
I hate those fins.
Shark fins on them.
And you get the P, which is basically the P2. This is what they call this one. It's the open cockpit car.
What's I don't care for those. I never care for those cars. Those are dated, that's for sure.
Mm-hmm. Well, yeah. These are most of the free stuff was made when the sim first came out in 2013. So it's 6 years old.
There's only 5 of them, 6 of them.
Yeah, 6 of them.
There's 2 of those kind?
Yep, there's a P1 and a P2.
So you can read most that glass.
Mm-hmm.
The Mistrals or what? What are these?
These are P1s.
Oh, those are pretty. Those are nice looking.
Mm-hmm. These are 530 horsepower cars too. So I'm sure you can run.
Horsepower.
Yeah.
Same weight car.
Just these are V8s. Those were the other ones were V12s. So there's your difference.
Coney. That's a good looking paint job.
Mm-hmm. So when it comes down to it, it's actually for the base sim. You're actually for the free content isn't bad. Once you get to the paid content, then again you're only talking for everything from this to.
Look at the Saline S7. That's the GT.
Yeah, that's what this is going to be. And there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11.
That's a GTR2 car.
Through and through.
I had to bring that in, didn't I?
Well, year 2004.
I think that's the first one I drove in the game. That's the first car I drove.
And United States, 615 horsepower, 1,200
pounds.
kilograms. V8 rear-wheel drive.
It's a Tigg next to all those other cars.
And they're actually calling that GTR1. And it's what they're calling that. They're not even calling that a prototype. They're calling it a GTR1.
Well, yeah.
Obviously, it's a GT car.
Yeah, obviously. But yeah.
That's the only GT car they have, isn't it?
Well, for free? For free, yeah, I think so. I'd have to load up the game for sure, because I've...
That's all of them.
Yeah.
So the fattest, the Judd is the...
Oh, it's a hill climb car. We don't do hill climb.
Yeah.
And there's only one car.
One car.
Only one car. That's.
Everybody gets the same car.
Well, I think there's only one hill climb track.
Look at that weight to power ratio, jeez. Yeah, so that's it.
Yeah, that's a lot.
You know, it's funny because I thought there was a lot more content that was free, but
it's actually not that bad. Really, when you look at it, you get 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 different cars, and then the liveries.
Their pay-to-play cars are great cars, too. They're unique, and nobody else has them. I mean,
yeah.
Until they got yanked out somehow, put into a set of cars. Because I've got like the Monza and the Mustang and the Nissan that are in the GTO class, the IMSA GTO class. I've got those cars in AC touring class. Yeah, there's a lot of cars, but you know, like I said, you can't get everybody to go.
Mm-hmm.
Can't get everybody to buy in, but there is some possibilities there.
Oh, definitely.
I wouldn't mind doing those juniors. That'd be fun.
Those would be a lot of fun. We had fun when we ran them in the rFactor 1.
Well, in a little bit here, the race is going to get kicked on here in a little bit.
Yeah, I've been sitting here too long as it is. The show is supposed to be an hour. We're pushing in 2 hours and 19 minutes.
Yeah.
All right, I got to get to work anyway.
Yeah, so do I. But
all right, guys.
All right. So
talk to you later.
So if you listen to everything we just talked about, it's if you don't mind the limited on tracks and limited on cars and modding and all that stuff, RaceRoom racing experience is a great sim. If you mind all that stuff, then it's not. So again, it's like we said about a half an hour, 45 minutes ago. It's 50-50 on whether it's a success or failure of the sim itself. So I'd like to thank everybody for stopping by. Ant, Bill, and
I think the jury's still out on this game. So.
Really? So do I. That's why I'm right in the middle.
As it is with most of them.
That's why I'm split right down the middle. It's
because we're all waiting. We're all waiting for something.
Exactly.
To happen.
Exactly.
It ain't happening. It ain't happening.
It ain't happening. Unless you're trying to work on contracts to get stuff in there, and every time they turn around, somebody with more money takes it, or whatever it is. You never know what's going on behind the scenes because they don't release that information. See?
Yeah.
Think about it. That's like they had the Blancpain cars in there at one time, but they don't anymore. Or they have the old ones, but not the newer ones, which are in ACC. Looks like some of the stuff that's in iRacing was in this until iRacing got a hold of it. So, you know, it might be where the money's going, where the money takes them, takes the people. That's the big and the little of it. It always comes down to money. And if you don't have it, you ain't getting the content. And that's the big and the little of it. But yeah, I think we've pretty much covered everything today. If not, we'll come back and revisit this subject later on, not next week. But we still need to revisit the AC is it the Everyman Sim, because we only covered NASCAR in that show. So there you go. Again, thanks guys for being here. You appreciate the lively conversation. It was a great. I think we had a great show. To put it bluntly, we had a great show.
Good for you.
Pat ourselves in the back.
I do my best.
I know you do. I know everybody does. All you guys do your best. Hey, thanks everybody for your support too. I appreciate it every time you spend any minute with me. I appreciate it more than you'll ever know. And of course my wife for letting me sit back here. I was supposed to have been done an hour and 20 minutes ago and I'm still sitting back here. because I have work to do and I have to go to work in an hour.
Oh, you're working today?
Yeah, I work 2 hours on Sunday. Yeah, that's what I do. Work 2 hours on Sunday. Big whoop-de-doos. But yeah, again, thanks everybody for everything you do. You never know. You'll never know how much I appreciate it all. Thanks everybody for watching. We'll be back tonight with some trucking, American Truck Simulator. Way later on tonight, probably around 10 o'clock Eastern. And racing on Tuesday, the last race of the Zoom Racing World Trans Am Series at just Riverside, which I'm surprised we were doing last instead of first, which is usually what we do. Well, we'll be at Riverside short Tuesday night. That ought to be a fun race that I have no practice for whatsoever in this car. So
oh yeah, like you've never been at Riverside. So.
Yeah, but not in this but not in this car. So Thursday night's probably gonna be more ATS, and Saturday mornings is up in the air. So there'll be sim racing Saturday morning. There may be some RaceRoom sprinkled in there with AI racing during the week also. So check out. Always check on my Twitter. What I'm doing is I'll usually post it up there first before anywhere else. Thanks everybody again for watching. Smoke me a kipper. I'll be back for breakfast. Oh.